And our final story for this edition of the Rolling Stone, not about the coronavirus, we're taking a break from that, but it takes us to the world of one of my favorite things in the world, reality TV. I cannot tell you, gang, how much I hate reality TV, because it is not TV in my estimation, and it is not reality. It lies on both counts. But be that as it may, HBO is getting a new reality TV show called We're Here. According to the website Digital Spy, okay, this new reality TV show We're Here is going to be, quote, the reality series which will see former Drag Race contestants Bob the Drag Queen, Christopher Caldwell, Eureka O'Hara, David Huggard, and Shangela, Darius Jeremy Pierce, travel across the U.S. empowering the citizens of Little America to embrace their true selves and let their drag flags fly. Unquote. So basically, yes, this is a traveling circus of drag queens going around the country. They're leaving the cultural epicenters of America. They're leaving New York and Vegas and Los Angeles and Chicago, and they are going to Little America. They are coming into the Midwest, not just to perform, but to actually, take the good people of of these towns and turn them into drag queens, right? All because it is about empowering. That's what it actually says in the trailer, right? That drag is all about empowerment. And what really caught my eye when I read this story on Digital Spy is the fact that the drag queens are going to, quote unquote, get deep with local residents about sexuality, religious issues, and more, unquote. So it sounds, again, this show isn't going to air until the last third of April. April 23rd, I think. April 21st or 23rd. So it sounds like it's going to be, a cross between like drag queen, acts, contestants? I don't even know what to call them anymore. It's going to be a cross of that, as well as this philosophical, part of the show, where they talk to people in, small town America, Midwestern America, about sexuality, religion, etc., etc. And you just know how these things are going to play out. They are going to get, these people of who might have very, very strong faith, but who might not know all the intricacies of the faith. They might know what they believe, but they might not know exactly why they believe it, or even though they believe in their faith. They know why they believe it, but like so many of us, they can't quite articulate why it is. They know that it's right, but they can't exactly sit down and give, a classroom discussion about why it's right. These people, right, these people in Middle America, they are going to be made the butt, not just of a joke, but they are going to be made the goat, as my grandpa used to say. They are going to be made the goat for these drag queens. These drag queens are going to be positioned as the tolerant, open-minded, empowered, freed individuals, right? They are also going to be shown as the sophisticated ones. They're the ones who have the answers. They're the ones who can poke all these holes into these, ridiculous religious beliefs that, have antiquated ideas about sex and gender and marriages and relationships. That's how this show is going to play out. Just from watching the trailer, reading this story on Digital Spy, that's how it's going to play out. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, for one reason, because it is pure propaganda. Pure propaganda, plain and simple. This is the equivalent of the old Christian missionaries going into foreign lands to convert people to the gospel, except now instead of missionaries, you have drag queens. And instead of foreign lands, you have middle America, Midwestern, small town America, though by the standards of the left, it is a foreign land because again, that's flyover country. Nobody cares about it, right? Except, for voter harvesting and to win converts. That's the only reason why, excuse me, they care about this, right? And especially that this is going to be propaganda when you realize that they're going to be talking about religion and politics. That just screams out to me that this is all about propaganda, that this is all about politics. This is all about, again, erasing normality. It really, really is what this is all about, right? And it also shows the lie that, that this isn't just about entertainment and having a good time. It's not. It always has an agenda behind it, okay? I think that it is especially revealing, is the word. It is especially revealing that they are going to be talking about religion. Because there was a fascinating piece in the New York Times this past week by a woman named Stewart, who basically was blaming the coronavirus epidemic here in the U.S. on evangelical Christianity. Why? Because evangelical Christianity is anti-science, it's conservative, and it is completely pro-Trump, which means that since it is anti-science and pro-Trump, that means that it is against rationality, it is against data, it is against facts, and it puts party ahead of the common good. It puts a person, a man, where the common good should be. They did the same thing with Obama, but that's another story entirely, as they would say. So, Stewart in the New York Times actually says, she makes the implication is there in her story, that if religion is actually this, if Christianity equals evangelicalism, which equals Christian nationalism, which equals this coronavirus epidemic here in the U.S., then the logical response is to crush it. Crush Christianity. Because, of course, something like that, something that would allow thousands of people to die because it doesn't like science, because it doesn't like facts, because it doesn't like reason, has no place in a civilization, right? That's what we would say. If there was some sort of system of thought that callously looked on while thousands of hundreds of people were dying, and thousands upon thousands of more people were getting infected with the disease with the potential that they could die, then, if it was some guru or some philosopher, some philosophy, we would say that has no place, right, in the public square, that it needs to be debated out of the public square. It needs to be crushed, it needs to be squished, and it needs to be ended. That's what Stewart is saying about Christianity by making all of these absurd claims about it, that faith is a contradiction of reason, that Christianity equals Christian nationalism, and all of these things. But what makes it so interesting is the emphasis that she puts on faith. The emphasis that she puts on it, that Kathleen Stewart does, by saying that it is because of religion that basically people are conservative, that they are knuckle-dragging, Trump-supporting, science-hating conservatives. It's their religion. So if you can change their religion, the thought is going, then you can change these people from being knuckle-dragging, science-denying, Trump-loving, conservatives into enlightened progressives. That's the line of thought. And that same line of thought is here in this show. We're here because why else would drag queens be talking about religion unless they want to plant seeds of doubt in these people's head? They know that for a lot of people, especially in Middle America, religion is very important to people. Orthodox religion, or some sort of like form of orthodoxy. I don't know, again, depending on family history, what denomination you're in. Orthodoxy might be more important and more prominent for some people than it is for others. But they know that faith, that actual, like, a genuine Christian faith, Jewish faith, Muslim faith, Hindu faith, faith in general, it is an enemy to them, because faith is always the enemy of ideology, because ideology wants to replace faith. It's sort of a secular faith, as I've argued several times before here on the channel. And so if you can change minds, if you can get people away from their faith and to your faith, then you have won a convert. And then they are much more open to your way of thinking, your way of seeing the world. That is what the purpose of this is here. That's what the purpose of this show is right there. And something else that I just have to mention quickly. They say that drag is empowering. That's going to be the lie. That's going to be the lie. We're only a few weeks away now from Easter, which apparently now mentioning Easter is a sign of Christian nationalism. So, just, I guess, sign me up for that. Now, I'm already wearing the black shirt. I'm already, worshiping, pumping my fist for dead white Greek males, right? So might as well go all the way and become a Christian nationalist. Just sign me up, because people on the left are going to do that anyway. But that is going to be how this is sold. See, your religion is constricting you because it's teaching you all these antiquated ideas about sex and gender, so you can't be empowered. You can't be whatever you want to be and let your drag flag fly. So if you just change your religion to this over here, to what we believe, then all of a sudden you're going to be empowered and free. And then, like I was going to say before I got onto my tangent, since it's so close to Easter now, it's very appropriate to make this parallel that it is much like the serpent and Adam and Eve in the book of Genesis, right? Oh, if you eat the fruit of the tree, you're not going to die. You will become like gods. You're going to be even better off than you are now. That's why God doesn't want you to eat the fruit, Eve. He's jealous. He doesn't want you to be just like him. It's the same sort of thing, but much like the serpent in the story of Genesis, this is also based on a lie. Drag isn't empowering. It's just not. Why? Because it goes back to something that Camille Paglia said in her book, Sexual Persona. It's a brilliant insight. And we might have to dive more deeply into it in another video, because it's a fascinating idea. But she says that as identity extends, the individual is crushed. Now, just on the surface, what I think she means by that is that as you have more and more choice to be whatever you want to be, then your individuality is destroyed. Because if you are basically just a blank slate and you can, I can choose to be this, 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 you have no core identity. There is nothing to you. You are simply tabula rasa. There is no you until you choose an identity, right? That's sort of the, you're sort of just like a blank slate and you don't exist. You're nobody. You're a nothing until you make some sort of a mark on yourself. That's the lie that these people are going to be selling these poor people in Middle America. So, and at the end of the day, I mean, this is such a multifaceted operation. You have to acknowledge and admit the brilliance of it. But this also goes into normalizing everything. Everyone knows how Much people love reality TV, and they love underdogs, and they love people being empowered, and this is going to tend more towards the normalization of this. And again, the utter destruction of the building block of society, the family, because the building block of male and female is going to be completely gone and erased. But anyway, I've talked too long, as per usual. So gang, stay safe, stay dangerous, keep reading, thinking, speaking, writing, and I will talk to you soon. Ciao, gang.